So I want to tell you what happened for the past 8-ish hours. After I did my morning walk and arrived back home at around midday, about 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, uh, it turns out that there was a blackout. A blackout happened, and at first I thought it was because of the multiple weddings that were happening around the area. Like there were a lot of weddings happening around the area that were I thought they were going to overload the power and thus kind of just causing a blackout, but it wasn't the case. It seems like because the blackout persisted a lot longer than I thought. Definitely more than an hour, which is crazy compared to the other like dips in electricity that I typically experienced for the past 2 years or so. I didn't. There's nothing like this that happened for a while, um, but I tried like at least chatting with friends, but it turns out this also affected the signal happening around the area, so we couldn't really contact anyone. This also meant that people that like ordered like grabs, basically like Ubers in our country, it was completely gone. Like it was all nullified, and so I napped because like what else are you supposed to do? I napped. I woke up at 5 o'clock, and it was still a blackout. So that's like already 5 hours of blackout, and we kind of had to think about what we were going to do. So we kind of just decided to go out and try and find some place, some food, probably a place to at least make sure that my brother and my mother was doing fine, which were doing university stuff like finding an apartment. That's why my father wanted to try and look for. So we left the house, and there was a lot that happened during the time the blackout was still persisting. Even past 6 p.m., there was like cars were all over the place. Street lights were, were like turned off. Several, what is it, like stores like a certain Starbucks or McDonald's are off because of the electricity and the blackout. And when we arrived at the closest mall to our house, there were a lot of people just scrambling for a place to kind of park and trying to leave and all that kind of stuff. About we only stayed there for a few minutes just to contact again my brother and my mom, and then once that finished, we tried to look around for I don't know a place to kind of just I think although we went to the hardware store to get like an inverter so that in case like big blackouts like this happen again, then we'd be prepared to at least do something involving like electricity. My father had like some this plan, and so we went to the mall and not the mall, the hardware store, and there was this large queue of people trying to buy LED lights, and what was funny is that we weren't looking for LED lights. We were looking for an inverter, so something else. But when we finally like, okay, we couldn't really find anything. Like all the inverters are like empty and stuff like that. There's not much in the hardware store for us to get, so we just booked it home. And then when we were already approaching our complex, the electricity went back up. That that was really funny to me because like all those people in the hardware store trying to buy LED lights, trying to get by through the blackout, it went back on again. So I'm glad we didn't really need to buy anything. But yeah, this potentially set back like what me and my father estimated about 70 million dollars because just nobody was able to work, nobody was able to function during that time. Hope things get better for overall Indonesia. By the way, like if you want to know the scope of this blackout, it spread over two provinces in Indonesia. Make it three, including three. Yeah, that's Banten, Jakarta, and West Java. I guess the distance between the two could be like I don't know. Think of it like I don't know the state of I don't know Ohio. I guess just the entire state of Ohio just blacking out essentially. I don't know. I can't really estimate. That's a very that's a very bad estimate. But yeah, it's crazy.